Right now, almost 25 billion kilometers from Earth, a 48-year-old machine the size of a small car is still calling home. Its signal is so faint by the time it reaches us that the antennas listening for it are straining to catch a tiny fraction of a billionth of a watt, a whisper crossing the emptiness between the stars. It is the most distant object human beings have ever made, and it is still talking to us, but not for much longer. Voyager 1 is running out of power, going dark one instrument at a time, and sometime in the next decade, its voice will fade out for good. Most people know Voyager was launched back in the 1970s. What I want to know is how it is still speaking to us after all this time, why it is about to fall silent, and what exactly we lose on the day it does. Some of what I found, I had to read twice before it sank in. In the summer of 1977, NASA launched 2 probes within weeks of each other. They were built for a mission meant to last about 4 years. Fly past Jupiter and Saturn, send back photographs, and then, in all likelihood, fall silent. The outer planets had lined up in a rare arrangement that let a single spacecraft swing from one giant world to the next, a configuration that comes around only once every 175 years. Voyager 1 did its job and far more. It gave us our first close looks at Jupiter's storms and the structure of Saturn's rings. And then, instead of switching off, it just kept going, outward, away from the Sun, toward the edge of everything we know. In 1990, as it sailed away, NASA turned Voyager 1 around for one last photograph, looking back at where it came from. In that image, taken from billions of kilometers away, the Earth is a single pale blue dot, smaller than a pixel, a tiny speck of light suspended in a sunbeam. Everyone who has ever lived, every empire, every war, every person you have ever loved, all of it on that one dim point of light. It may be the most humbling photograph ever taken. Bolted to the side of each Voyager is a gold-plated record. On it, a team led by the astronomer Carl Sagan placed the sound of a human heartbeat, a mother's first words to her child, greetings in 55 languages, whale song, and music from Bach to Chuck Berry. It was a message in a bottle thrown into the cosmic ocean on the impossibly small chance that something, someday, might find it and know that we were here. In 2012, Voyager 1 crossed a boundary called the heliopause, the edge of the bubble of particles blown out by our Sun and entered interstellar space. It became the first thing human hands ever built to leave the Sun's domain and drift in the space between the stars. Here is the first thing that is hard to believe. Voyager's radio transmitter runs on about 22 watts of power, roughly the bulb in your refrigerator, and it is broadcasting from almost 25 billion kilometers away. By the time that signal reaches Earth, it is almost nothing, and it takes more than 22 hours to arrive, traveling at the speed of light the entire way. To hear it at all, NASA uses the Deep Space Network, enormous dish antennas around the world that strain to pull the whisper out of the noise. Voyager does not run on sunlight. Out there, the Sun is just another bright star, far too dim to power anything. Instead, it carries a generator fueled by slowly decaying plutonium, turning heat into electricity. The trouble is that the plutonium has been decaying since 1977, and the spacecraft loses about 4 watts of power every single year. To stay alive, engineers have spent decades switching off heaters and instruments one at a time, deciding what to sacrifice to keep the rest breathing. And then, in late 2023, Voyager 1 started speaking nonsense. This is the part that got me. For months it kept transmitting, but the data came back as a meaningless, repeating pattern as if the spacecraft had lost its mind. From 24 billion kilometers away, a team of engineers, some of them now elderly, working with paper manuals and computers older than most people watching this, had to diagnose the fault by remote. They traced it to a single failed chip in the spacecraft's memory. Then, they rewrote its software to work around the broken piece and beamed the fix across the solar system, where every command takes almost a full day to arrive and another full day to confirm. In the spring of 2024, against the odds, Voyager 1 started making sense again. But that rescue only bought time. It did not change the ending. Voyager 1 is dying, and there is nothing anyone can do to stop it for reasons that stack on top of each other. The first is power. The plutonium will soon not produce enough electricity to run the instruments, and one by one NASA is shutting them down until there will not be enough left even to send a signal. The second is distance. There is no refueling it, no reaching it, no repairing it by hand. It is farther away than anything we have ever touched and getting farther every second. The third is time. Even our ability to hear it has limits, and as the signal weakens and the power fades, sometime in the 2030s, the last faint thread connecting us to Voyager 1 will go quiet. And here is the part that stays with me. Going silent does not mean stopping. When Voyager 1 finally stops speaking, it will not slow, it will not turn, it will not fall. It will simply keep drifting in the same direction at over 60,000 kilometers per hour, carrying that golden record into the dark. It will not come anywhere near another star for roughly 40,000 years. Think about what that means. Long after the last engineer who built it is gone, long after the dishes on Earth have stopped listening, long after the sun itself has swelled and swallowed our planet billions of years from now, Voyager 1 will still be out there. A small, dark, silent machine carrying a recording of a child's laughter and a piece of bark, falling forever through the space between the stars. It is the farthest we have ever reached, the longest we have ever spoken, and the most patient hope we have ever sent into the dark. And for just a little while longer. If you go outside and look up, you can know that something out there, almost 25 billion kilometers away, is still trying to reach us. If you want more stories from the edge of what we know, tell me in the comments and I will keep finding them. Subscribe so you do not miss the next one, and I will see you out there.